So in this video, let's talk about the surface area. Um, a little bit different, but it's nothing that we haven't seen before. We know this is the arc length, and we know this is just 2 pi the function. So we're just multiplying 2 pi times the function times the arc length. Now again, we know the good thing about the surface area is that if we're revolving around x, then we integrate everything with respect to x. So that's a good idea. And it's the same thing that's true for y. Okay, we take 2 pi times the function of that y function, and we just take the arc length. Okay, we square it in respect to dy. So if we're doing it with respect to x, fine. If we're doing it with respect to y, great. Okay, so it doesn't matter. So this is a general formula that you gotta remember. Okay, so let's look at the problem. So it says find the area of the surface that is generated by the curve y is equal to x squared between x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1 about the x-axis. So we know that we're going to integrate everything with respect to x. We're given our limits of integration. Here's our function. Okay, so before I do anything, well, let's go ahead and plug in. So my surface area is going to be the integral from 0 to 1 of 2 pi. Well, what's my function? My function is just f of x. So that would be x cubed. We're going to multiply that by 1 plus. What's my derivative? What's my derivative? 1 plus the function, okay? So the derivative of the function, yeah? So know the derivative, if we just take 3 down, so this would be 3x, and we just subtract 1 from that. So that's 3x squared. So that's our derivative, and we square that, and we attach on our dx here. Okay? So it's a simple look at the formula, plug in. Okay, so again, to make my life simpler, I'm gonna, since 2 pi is a constant, I'm gonna plug it out. So just put it out. So this becomes 2 pi times 0 to 1 of x cubed times 1 plus, well, I know 3 squared is 9, and we know x squared squared is 4. Okay, and there's our dx. So now we're at a point like this, I see u substitution. Okay, I see that I have an x to the fourth here. If I take the derivative, I'm going to get some sort of x to the cube. So I see a u substitution here. So if I set u to be 1 plus 9x to the fourth, then my du is what? 36 x cubed dx. Okay, have an x cubed dx and not 36x, and not 36x cubed. And so if I divide by 36 on both sides, I get 1 over 36 du. That's simply equal to x cubed dx. So 1 over 32 du is what I'm plugging in for x cubed dx. Okay. Now, because this is a definite integral, we also got to be careful of our boundaries also. Okay. So if I'm looking at this, we know that since if x is equal to 1, then u must be 1 plus 9 to the 1/4. Okay, and we know this simplifies to 9 plus, we said this simplifies to 1 plus 9. So we know that u has to be 10. And we know that if x is equal to 0, then u must be 1 plus 9 times 0 to the 4th, which is just 1. Okay, so because we're transferring the u substitution, we have to change our limits of integration. Okay, so we know these are 2 new limits of integration. And so the new integral will be given by, so the new integral will be given by 2 pi. We still have our 2 pi. Okay. We're going to multiply that by 1 over 36. Okay. This is now our integral from 1 to 10. We just said everything under here was our u, and this is raised to the 1/2. So because it's a square root, so this is u to the 1/2. Okay, so this is u to the 1/2, and then we attach our du. Okay, so everything looks perfectly in line. Okay, now hopefully you can see that these cancel out. So this is 1, this is 18. Okay, so I could simplify this as pi over 18 times the integral of from 1 to 10 of u to the 1/2 du. Okay, now take an integral. Now this becomes pi over 18 multiplied by, well, this is u to the 3/2. So that's u to the 3/2. and just simply multiply by the reciprocal. So this is 2/3. Okay, and this is all integrated from 1 to 10. Okay, so make sure this is our 1 there. Okay. Now we could definitely see that if I multiply 2 on the top, well, let's look at this. This is 1, this is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So this is pi over 27, u to the 3/2, evaluated from 1 to 10. Okay, so plugging in, this becomes pi over 27 times 10 to the 3/2 minus 1. Now this would be 1 to the 3/2, but again, 1 to the 3/2 is just 1. Okay, and so this will be your final answer. Yeah, will be your final answer. So again, the surface area, and we could do this with respect to y also, doesn't matter. The main thing about surface area is that you got to remember this formula here. Okay, these are formulas you got to remember. It's just simply plugging in, doing our integration.